Hey guys, today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a Minecraft bee in Blender. So this is going to be a really cool 3D version of the Minecraft bee, and it might not have the exact same features, but I assure you it looks really good. So this is the image we're going to use for the bee model. So you can just keep that aside. Now you would just start off with your normal cube over here, but it doesn't look so much like the piece, so we could just extend it a little bit by increasing the scale on the y-axis or the x-axis depending on where your camera is. So I'm just gonna extend it on the y-axis. About 1.5 would be good. Now since we're going to make this a 3D version, I want to look a bit realistic and like an animated version. So I'm just going to tab into edit mode, which you can do by clicking on the drop down menu or simply by pressing tab. Now when you're in edit mode, your cuboid would be selected, right? Now if you accidentally click somewhere and you unselect from the cuboid, all you need to do is press A and you'll be back into selection mode. Now what I want you to do is press Ctrl B, and that would bevel the vertices. So now if we just move our cursor a bit here, we can see it's already starting to curve, but it doesn't have that high resolution that we are looking for. So all you need to do is scroll up and we get more vertices to work with, and now it looks really nice. Now you just click and that's looking good. So now if we just go back to object mode, which again you can do by the drop down menu or just simply pressing tab, now we can see we have this nice curved cuboid. Now we can just now after we're done with this, we can look here and we see that there are these lines on the bee which we can create by just press shift A to add a new mesh. Now go to mesh and cube. Right now we can just reduce the scale on the y-axis just about there, right? And about 100, 0.01, 0.1 would be good. Now you can just edit it according to your liking. I'm just making it just stick out. Okay, now we need to bevel this as well, so again tab into edit mode and now Control B. Now we can just bevel the vertices here as well, and boom. Now we go back to edit mode. Now all you need to do is you don't need to make a new cube for every single one, so you can just select this, press shift D, which will duplicate the object. Now you can see that we can move it all around, and we don't want that because we want perfect alignment. So all you need to do is press Y because we are on the Y axis, and it will move on the Y axis only. So there we go. Now we just put it somewhere here, I think. Okay, now for the last line, it's a bit more thicker, so I'm just gonna duplicate that on the y-axis, and now if we put it here, about here, and just extend the scale on the y-axis, it will become more thick. Now we just grab that and put that somewhere there. Okay, good. Now we have the lines on the bee and everything looks good. Now I'm just gonna extend this a bit to 140. Yeah, it looks good. Now we need to add the other features of the bee, like the eyes, right? So for that we're gonna add yet another cube. So we go to shift A for adding mesh and cube. We choose the cube, and now if we press add cube, like we will see it on the bottom left corner, add cube, and we can just reduce the size over here. Now For some reason, if that's not showing up, that add cube button, it's probably because after you added in the cube mesh, you would have clicked somewhere else, and when you click that, you can see it just disappears. So you should be careful to not click anything after you add in your cube. Now we've added in our cube, we've adjusted the size, and now okay, about that much would be enough, right? And now if we click this move tool and we click our newest cube over here and we just drag it forward, we've got something that looks like an eye, and we can see that the bee's eye is on the front and the side of it. So I'm just gonna make it look like that. We can extend it if you want, you can do anything. I'm just gonna extend it on the z-axis a bit. Yeah, and that looks good. Now again, we have to bevel this, of course, because and we just tab into edit mode, control B, and bevel, and we get that, right? So now we're back in object mode. We just click that, duplicate, move it on the x-axis, and you got your both eyes. Now we have almost completed the first model of it. Now we'll just move this a bit down because that's where the bee's eyes usually are. Now you can move things by just clicking it, pressing G, and you can move it on any axis you want, right? So I chose the Z axis because we are moving it up and down. Now I just align that perfectly, and yeah, that's pretty much it. It's looking good. We can just reduce the size a bit. Yes. Okay. Now now that we got the eyes, we can see that it also has a little sparkle to it. So I'm just gonna add another cube, reduce the size, and bring it outwards. So now we just choose that cube, edit mode, control B to bevel, and we get something like this. Yeah, so now we take that and put it over there. Great. Now we just click that, duplicate x-axis, and put this one over here. Now we can just fix this if you want, to make it perfect. Okay, now we can add in the colors now, but we have to finish all the textures first. So for the feet, we have to add in yet another cube. So we add in the cube, edit the size, and bring it down. Okay, fine. Now we have it's really up to you if you want to bevel the feet, but I prefer mine to be unbeveled. So we get this here. Now just edit it a little bit. Okay, now we've got one of the feet here. So how much does it have actually? 1 2 3. Okay, fine. So it has 6 feet in total. So we can just edit this on z-axis to make it a bit longer. Okay, perfect. Now shift D to duplicate. On the x-axis, move it to this side, and boom, put that there, and duplicate it as much as you want. Y-axis down here, and duplicate that. Y-axis down here, and same for this side. Duplicate, shift D, boom, and D, and boom. That's it. It's the feet. Feet are done. Now we can see that it has like these little things on the front. Comment down what you call that, because I don't really know. So we can just add in another cube, bring it out and up somewhere about here would be okay. Yeah, just in front of the forehead. Yeah, perfect. Okay, that's good. Now we just increase the size of this so it sticks out. Now it's your choice if you want to bevel this one, but I prefer not to, like the feet. Now this, grab it, duplicate it on this axis, right? So, and we can just scale it up a bit on what axis? Yeah, x-axis. So if you didn't know that the x-axis is marked in red and y is in green and z of course is in blue. Okay, now we have this and we just need to add the color to it, right? So we just choose the uh, material that we want to add color to and go to this is the material properties icon. So we just click that, press new, and we can add a base color to it, and the B is like a yellowish color, uh, about there, right? So you would be noticing that the color hasn't shown up yet. That's because we are in the viewport mode and we need to go to look dev mode, which is this. So now if we go here, we can see that the color has appeared. Now the other mode over here, is viewport shading, which gives us a more detailed view of what we are doing, right? Now we've added in the color and we have to add in the rest over here. So this is more of a brownish color, so we can just add that. Now we just go to orange, and we all know that brown is just a darker shade of orange, and so if we reduce V over here, we get a nice brown one, right? Now we do that for all of them. I think you can just color drop it. So you just click here, press new, go to base color, click this eyedropper thing, and click the color you want it to be. Now just for the feet as well, uh, you can do it on this original one, and if you just do that, yeah, go, sorry for wasting your time over here. I'm a bit slow. Add this color dropper, boom, and color dropper, boom. Okay, perfect. Now we add the color for the eyes, which I feel should be like a nice, not fully black, but just a nice grayish tone to it. A dark gray would look good. Now we add that to both eyes. Like again we can just use the eyedropper tool and boom, nice. Now the glow on the eyes is kind of like a light blue one. So I'm just gonna go press that, click that cube, add new material, and go for something like that, right? Now here as well, eyedropper, boom. No, I chose the wrong one. Uh, Eyedropper and boom. Yeah, I think it's just a glitch. We just increase the brightness of it, would be back to normal, right? So now we have a B with all its colors. Just add in gray over here and one more here. Okay, perfect. Now we have our bee over here fully colored right now, but it doesn't look so detailed. So I saw this bee actually. Uh, I saw this video about a bee. It said that they have millions of hairs, so we can't just leave it looking all so just smooth like that, right? We have to add in some hairs. But before that, we need to make its eyes a bit shinier. So all we need to do for that is go to your material page over here, scroll down till you see roughness. And I want you to decrease that all the way down. I want you to do it for all of them. Just decrease the roughness all the way down, and we get a shinier product. We can see that properly in the look dev mode. See, we can see it's a nice shiny object, but we'll see that in the rendered mode as soon as we add in the light, right? Now we just edit this a bit. I think it's, yeah, okay, yeah, that's perfect. Now to add the heads, we're gonna add it on the main body. It would be a good time to just name all of this now. So the main body, we can just name it body and cube. What is this? Okay, this is the line one. Wait, line one, and line. I accidentally named line 2 line 1 again, so it's okay. Now we select the body. Now we go to this particle properties editor, right? Now we go over here, and this is basically where you um, add in when you want to duplicate something that's a lot. And you can't just do it, you'll waste your time, you'd spend like 10 hours on a single simple project. So Blender has made this particle property. So if you're making a donut or some cupcakes or something, you want to add sprinkles, this would be good for that. But it's also good for adding hair, right? So we open particle settings and we press this plus button to add a new particle system. Now this emitter, would we press play, it would uh, just throw balls, right? But we don't want that. We want like a nice hairy texture. So we go to hair, and remember always to put your particle system on advanced. You don't need to, but I like it that way. So, and you have more options to do with, and it looks way better. So now we go to hair length and we reduce it because we don't want it this big, right? So we give it about I think 0.1 would be okay, right? 0.1. But it doesn't look so good right now. We just need to add in like we just need to change the number. We need to make more of it, so we get that. So about the 3000 would be good. Now if you go to children, and as soon as you get ready to have your mind blown, wow, now that's one hairy bee. Now we can just reduce the hair length because I feel it's a bit too big. So let's put that at 5. We can just reduce this to 1400. Okay, now that looks good. And the hair length needs to be 0.1. Okay, now boom, we have this. Right, now would be a good time to go to your render properties and change it from EV to cycles. Now cycles is a way better rendering engine because it gives so much detail to the work you do. So an EV is more for games and all, so Cycles might take a lot of time to render in, but but it gives a lot of detail. So Eevee is used for more game development, although Blender isn't a game developing one. But I suggest you use cycles. So we go back to our particles page, and we can just edit the hair and all that, right? So now we have a nice set of hair for our bee. We can just make that even. Sorry, my OCD. And increase the hair length, right? So now we can just go to, where is it? Yeah, okay. We can go to physics, and we increase the Brownian, sorry. It would just displace the hairs, but you can do that if you want to add grass or something, but I just really like to keep it pretty low when you're working with small items, like when you don't want it to be so displaced. When you have a large plane of grass, we can just use that so it looks kind of displaced and more natural. Now if we just click the body of the bee, we can go to particle edit mode. Now if we go here, it's like a comb, right? So we can just puff this. If you want, you can click this and it'll get puffy and all that, but what we want is like a smooth comb down. So this is just combing down all the air particles. Now we go back into our object mode, we can see that our hair has been combed down, but I don't really like this for animals and all, but you can do it if you want. It gives it a more natural look, but I'm going for a more animated style. So go back to object mode, and now we have our hairy bee. Now we can just add in a more. I think we should add in more hair. Yeah, I think okay. Now we now this is our camera, right? So we click, we can see our camera, but as soon as we move around, it just disconnects us from that. But so just to fix that, go to just all you need to do is click N, and this thing will pop out. Now you just go to view and lock camera to view, right? So now if you move around, you can choose from where the camera is depicting it, right? I think that would be enough, but before we get to that, we need to go to our, we can just press N to close it back up again. We need to go to this, our lines, and we need to add a bit of hair for that as well. Hair length pretty low, about 15, right? Now do everything like I just told you again. Boom. Same thing over here. Hair interpolated. That's just what, now that's what it would look like if you hadn't changed the size. So again, about a 0.1, right? And here again, hair, go down, 0.1, right? And children interpolate. Now we have this nice bee. I think something got messed up with the colors in line 3. So we're just gonna go ahead and fix that. Yes, okay, now that looks like a Minecraft bee, am I right? Now I'm just gonna edit this a bit lower right now. Okay, now we have this. Right now Now if we go back to this particle, um, we can just disconnect and connect that here, which I think is pretty cool. um, yeah, so now we have our body and our beam. Now to present this, we would need our light source, right? So we go down and open, yeah, okay, so we zoom out, we can find our light somewhere. Yeah, this is our light, right? Now we can bring it forward here so it looks like the light is coming from there. And now with the light, you go to light settings, and you can change the color of your light as well. So if you give it a yellow, it will give a nice yellow tune to it, so it looks like the sun is setting and the bee is flying around. I like this, but you can do whatever you want. You can go to white and give it like this effect, red, and like something evil is coming or something. So it really depends on what you want, but I'm just going to go for a nice yellow shading. Now you can increase the power of the light as well. If it's really high, it would look like a solar eclipse. Now we can increase the radius as well to give it a nice shine, but if you don't increase the radius too much, because then it'll just uh, exit our bee's perspective. So now we I'm just going to change to about 2000 watts, right? That looks good. Now if I go to camera view, we can see our bee right there. Now this is our bee currently. You can add in wings, which I'll teach you in the next tutorial, and we are gonna add in a new background. But that's it for now. Our Minecraft bee has reached this far. Okay, now thanks for watching and bye.